I think one of the biggest ones is uncertainty. And it's a regulatory policy uncertainty. I think people don't know what will happen in the future. I think people are willing to work with rules, people are willing to work with regulations, people are willing to work policy. The challenge is I don't know whether all this will change next year, whether it will change in 3 years, 5 years. I think if we can come to a conclusion, say this is what the rules of the game are, and that's it, and then start training. And let's train for those rules. You can't change the rules midway. So I think that uncertainty is one of the biggest things from a government perspective. If they can provide some clarity and some firmness, I think people would be much, much more happier. They may not like everything, but I think they can at least do something about it, as opposed to today, where there is a gridlock because you don't want to invest, because you don't know whether the investment will be allowed, not allowed, whether things will be right, not right. So that's I would say is one of the biggest challenges facing the industry today.
Although, the answer that, or the trend that I identify as the single largest and most important trend that will determine the future of real estate is not purely real estate driven, it is only retail driven. It's about bringing in 100% FDI without conditions in retail. Whether it is single brand retail or it is multi-brand retail, we believe that it's going to really fuel the retail industry, the retail story, and will also, of course, contribute to the fast and more sustainable growth of the real estate industry.
I think the single biggest adversity is the lack of understanding on the part of central and state governments that an efficient retail system is good for everybody in the country, almost everybody. It's good for the government because you have better tax compliance. It is good for the consumers because efficient retailing will reduce the pricing there. It's also good for producers and small-scale manufacturers because an efficient retail system, an expanding retail system, gives them a chance to find customers. Otherwise, you can be waiting for a Delhi Haat or somebody like that to show up, which are hardly any there. And most people cannot find access to straight away to Future Group or Big or Shopper Stop. You require an efficient system where a producer can reach out to the retailer. But unfortunately, there is very little understanding about the incredible power of an efficient retail system in the mind of almost any politician. They still think that footpath and hawkers and small stores are efficient. They are so inefficient because they are actually the last mile. By the time the goods have reached them, all the value has already been sort of added before. So customers pay more. This shopkeeper doesn't make much at times. And the farmer or the producer also doesn't make much. So number one impediment, appreciation or lack of it from state and central governments to make retail as one of the core focus areas to improve efficiency and thereby changing laws which come in the way, whatever they might be, why so many licenses, permissions, and so on and so forth. The second thing is related to that. There is no real estate policy in India which actually measures by saying that for every 100 people or every 1,000 people, so much square feet of retail space is needed. So in the past, in some cities, there were still community markets which were built as a part of city development. Delhi, for example, is one of the few cities in the country which I know of, where almost every old residential colony has its own market. Today, real estate developers, especially housing, they're building huge complexes, practically no shopping. What it basically means is like, as income levels grow, as consumptions grow, you require space for living, you require space for office, you require space for entertainment, for food, but also for shopping. So if you take any kind of a norm that you require about 8 square feet, 10 square feet per person, and a population dedicated to shopping. So what it basically means is like this, that if you're looking into a city like Delhi should be having officially at least for a population of 20 million, 200 million square feet of space, 200 million. Because it is not there, retailing is spilling on the streets completely. It's crawling up to the second and third floors now in some of these congested areas, all illegal. That is inefficient for everybody and dangerous for everybody too. So second part related to understanding of efficient retailing is in every single master plan being done in India, at the city level, state level, and at the township level with a private developer. Make it mandatory that X square feet of space will be retail, and at least for a private developer, it should not, if it's an integrated development, I would recommend it should not be counted in FSI. It's like an amenity or a utility like parking space you're providing. They should do that so that even the traffic and commute will become lesser if you can do your daily shopping where you live. So that's the second impediment there. The third impediment is not having GST. And if you are a national retailer and you cannot freely move your goods from one state to another state, suppose there is unsold somewhere else, how do you bring back into some other state where your warehouse is there or distribution centers are there? You need a simple, transparent, unified taxation system pan-India, so that within India, movement of goods and products, in this case, or services we are talking about separately, there should not be differential rates of taxation and distortions because of it. So three factors.
I would say two, not just one. One, I think we need proper zoning laws in this country. Today you can build a mall, anyone can build a mall anywhere where they have land. So I think we must have zoning laws and regulate the development of malls in a positive way. Okay. Second is, I think specifically on the mall front, we have some very archaic laws like a 30-meter height. You know, there's a restriction. You can't build a mall more than 30-meter height. In a country where land is so expensive, where FSI is an issue, it's best to go vertical. I'm not saying, you know, I've seen malls in Korea and Japan, which are 8 floors and 9 floors. I think it's a challenge in India. People don't like going up so many floors. But whether I build a mall of 25 or 30 or 35 meters is a judgment call on our part on whether we can build it effectively, efficiently and profitably. And I think these kind of silly rules must be done away with.
I think in the Indian context, clearly one of the things that's happened is that I think the cost of retailing has gone way ahead of the revenues. I think if I were to dramatize it, I would say the hype overtook the reality a little bit. So I think with the current economic situation, I would think that part of it will get adjusted. And I don't think, maybe I don't even need a magic wand. Maybe the magic wand is already beginning to appear. That's one part of this thing. I think the other part where I would like to see some changes, I think where retail starts segmenting based on consumer. I think today there are a lot of Me Too offerings, whether it's from brands, whether it is from malls, whether it is from organized trade. What would really be nice to see is to treat the consumer as an important part of this whole equation and start segmenting based on consumer needs and actually deliver to the refined needs of this consumer. Because today the Indian consumer has disposable income, is evolving as a consumer and asking for more and more. But I'm not sure if there's enough happening in terms of delivering to that need. It's somewhere, I think the delivery is behind the evolving consumer, and I'd like to see that gap coming down.
Retail industry in the mid to long term, it has got a very bright future. I think in the short term, and as you rightly say, is that perhaps over the next 4 quarters, there are some challenges with the industry. You know, one is that there is going to be very little good quality real estate that is going to be available. Second is that given the current GDP of the country, there is going to be some impact that will be felt on the consumption. And third is that though the FDI has opened up, we haven't really seen a rush of foreign retailers come into the country. My guess is they're going to wait until the general elections, which is going to be first or second quarter of next year. And soon thereafter, once we hopefully get a stabilized government, we're going to see a flush of foreign capital and foreign retailers coming into India.
Challenge, as in, I suppose, most countries, finding a good location and finding it at the right price continues to be a challenge. Development of malls has definitely slowed down and is not happening anywhere close to the pace at which we would like it to grow. So that's definitely a challenge and an impediment for our own growth. So if I had the power to change something, if I could change that, I think that would make a big difference to our growth in India.
Non-supply of good retail developments. That is the biggest constraint because we do not prefer or we do not want ourselves to be present in a standalone format because of the infrastructure issues. We would always love to be in a part of a mall scenarios only. But in the case of mall scenarios, the real estate development has to be there, retail development has to be there. So the growth of an entertainment industry is directly related to the growth of the malls in the country. So as and when the malls keep coming, we would always be in demand there.
One of the biggest thing is the sizing of the store. So if you look at it today, most of the retailers have not been able to get their assortment to the customer requirement, to the catchment potential, to the size correct. And therefore the struggles have been to recorrect the sizes over the last year. But I think most of them have realized as to what it is, but now that's under implementation. And implementation in this kind of a scenario takes between 1 to 2 years time.
Clearly there is, the rentals, the real estate has to adjust. We're finding that there is, with a bit of slowdown in growth in the economy, there is a clear need for the rentals to readjust. The other big thing could be clearly our regulations to evolve on supply chain perspective as well as on the labor perspective. These two need to evolve. We need to have far better flexibility and regulations on both sides for retail to grow.